All right, so Johnny got a few different things from Sprouts today, and I want to kind of go through each of them and talk about some of their relative strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, actually, this Wild Zara is not from Sprouts. We got that online, but it was in the cupboard, so I grabbed it. But so the first one here, this is from DNX brand, grass-fed beef, which is great. And then it also has sweet potatoes and pecans. I've actually never tried this one. Sounds delicious, but let's look at the ingredients. So grass-fed beef, fine. Medjool dates. Dates are fine, but they are sugar. So if you have a sugar sensitivity or you're on a candida diet or something, these would not be the best option for you. Inulin is it's a fiber product basically. It helps to sweeten things without giving you extra sugar calories. So it's kind of nice that way, but it can cause some digestive issues in some people. Probably not enough from one of these bars, but that can happen. Powdered egg whites, that could be a good or bad thing. It doesn't actually say the source of the eggs. So my guess is that they're probably not pasture-raised eggs, which is less than ideal, but not the worst thing ever. Organic potato powder, yeah, that just seems unnecessary to me. Extra virgin coconut oil, that's great. Organic pecans, fine. Sunflower seeds, great. Organic dried berries, fine. Once again, this is going to be a really sweet bar. There's a lot of sweet things in there. And actually, when you look at the total sugars, there's 5 grams in the bar. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, but definitely not my top choice. Sea salt's fine. Garlic powder's fine. Ground, I think that's fennel. Looks good. Sacha inchi powder, that's fine. Celery. So, okay, so the thing about most of these dried beef bars these days is that they are cured naturally, is what they say, because there was a big stink a while back about the dangers of nitrates and nitrites. And so you see this with bacon a lot. They started saying no added nitrites or no added nitrates. And while that's true, they use, instead of the nitrates and the nitrites, they use the celery powder. And celery powder is a natural curing agent, which helps to dry it out. But during the process of drying it out, the celery powder will produce natural nitrites. I think they're nitrites. They might be nitrates. Anyway, the point being that you end up with even higher amounts of them than you would get from a nitrate dried cured product. So, it's not necessarily a pro or a con. I don't think that nitrates and nitrites are all as bad as they've made them out to seem, but that's something to keep in mind. When you are eating a lot of bars like this, you could end up with higher amounts of those things. And then oleifera powder, that's fine. So that's this first bar. That's, I would rate that like a 5 or a 6, depending on how well you can tolerate that much extra sugar. So this one, same company, but this is bacon and jalapeno, which sounds even more delicious to me. Only 1 gram of sugar, so this is exciting. This one's got the beef, the bacon, beef collagen, great. Medjool dates, we talked about those. Organic spices. I wish they would say what those spices are, but I'm sure they're fine. Garlic powder, onion salt, liquid coconut aminos, which is kind of like a soy sauce alternative, a little bit sweeter. Encapsulated citric acid. So that's going to be similar to the celery powder, which they also have in there. But citric acid, not necessarily bad, but some people can develop at least a temporary sensitivity to it if they're getting a bunch of it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Jalapeno chili powder, fine. Jalapeno chili flakes, that's going to be a spicy bar. And sea salt. So I like this one a lot better than the sweet potato and pecan bar. Let's look at the Epic. This is one of my favorite companies. They do some awesome stuff. Bison is a fantastic source of meat. It can be a nice break from the usual beef. But if we look at this, it's got the bison, uncured bacon. Once again, no nitrates or nitrates added, but there's plenty in there, I promise. Now, they use brown sugar in their cure. again, not the best thing in the world, but if you look at the, let's see, do they even tell us? No. Total carbs, 8 grams. Oh, there we go. Sugar, 6 grams. So that's a little bit more sugar than I think a person should be getting, especially from a bar like this. So kind of disappointing they would add that brown sugar, but it's not the worst thing. Again, dried cranberries also contributing to the sugar, as well as the cranberries and the apple juice concentrate. So they clearly wanted this bar to be sweet. I would put this actually right about on par with the sweet potato bar. So not the best, not the worst. They have some other options that are a little bit more like this one. And speaking of, so this is actually more like jerky. It's going to be a little bit drier, harder to chew, or chewier. But they use the bison, the uncured bacon, which is great. And then they use golden raisins and chia seeds. So that's good. Let's look at the sugars. There's 4 grams per 6 pieces. So if you ate the whole bag, it would be 10 grams. Yeah, that's fine. Again, not my favorite. Wild Zora, I really love this brand here. One downside to it though is that they are super expensive. You'll pay like $3 for this and you get 2 pieces, 1 ounce for $3. That seems like a lot. But look at the ingredients. Natural Park, organic fruits and vegetables, including red bell pepper, dates, tomato, apricots, onions, celery, cilantro, lime juice, garlic, jalapeno pepper, sea salt, and spices. How awesome is that? No weird stuff, no added stuff. But because of all the fruits and things, it does have 7 grams of sugar. So the general rule of thumb with all of these things is don't go crazy on them because they do tend to have added sugars. But if you can, find more like this one that are low in sugar. Like I was saying earlier, the Nick Sticks brand is my favorite because they have 0 sugar and really minimal ingredients altogether. So anyway, those are some of your options.